Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Tips. I am so excited to have our guest on today, and I'll be introducing you in a little bit. But remember, we have the free throw-a-thon coming up in September the 9th through the 17th. And the link for that is xtreme.com/fun. I am so excited about this event. It is our first annual event. So I want all of you all to just pitch in and have fun while we help support underserved athletes to help them get into college. We're sponsoring them in showcase games so they can be seen by the scouts, because that's what the gap is. Most of our students, they can't afford to get to these showcase games, so they're never seen. So we want to bridge that gap and give everyone an opportunity to soar to the top. So the person that we have on today is another original Xtreme. And the beauty about having her on, last week or 2 weeks ago, we had an original Xtreme. So this is the connection. These are the two ladies that got it all started. So what a blessing it is for me to kick off this event, having the first two original Xtreme on the Tuesday Tips. So with no further ado, I'm going to bring Kaci Coffey to the stage. All right. Kaci, long time no see.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to Tuesday Tips. This is so exciting. I'm not sure how much you could hear in the waiting room, because I'm not sure how the Zoom waiting room works, but I was telling our viewers that it's so exciting to have you here, because last week or 2 weeks ago, we had Lillian, and you are the first two original Xtreme. But before we get into that and talk about Xtreme in the good old days, tell us what you're doing now and what you have done since you graduated and since you left Xtreme, and then just bring us up to date. And then we're gonna backtrack and talk about the good old days.
Okay. So right now, currently, I am a preschool teacher. When I'm not in the classroom helping the little ones learn everything they need to learn, I am a new mom. So I am adjusting to that lifestyle, trying to fit being a mom into still enjoying life and trying to still be active with the new Xtreme now, helping out, coaching with them. So it's been a process to adapt to this new lifestyle.
Awesome. So just in case you all haven't figured it out by now, Kaci is my niece. A lot of time when I talk about the D. Coffey Foundation for Athletics and Education, and we're partnering up with Xtreme to put on this event, you'll hear me say that Coach Joe, my brother, had his daughter, my niece, to start the team with his assistant coach and his daughter. So, I kind of say all of that. And by saying all of that, I'm pretty sure some things get lost in the midst. But that's the base of it. Kaci is Coach Joe's daughter, and she's my niece. And she's one of the reasons that the team started, along with Lillian, who I had before. Her dad is the assistant coach. See how beautiful this all go together? This is just so exciting to me. I just love when things just kind of come together twofold. So with that being said, let's talk about Xtreme. Xtreme was just phenomenal. I mean, when you all were 10, we did the math. And were you 10 or were you younger than 10 at the time you all started?
I was older. So initially when it started, we had two teams. Well, we started out with one, then we developed into two teams. So I was on the older team and Lillian was on the younger team.
Okay. So how old were you when you started?
I want to say 11 or 12.
Yeah, y'all, she was really old, right? Yes. Okay. Wonderful. So let's just talk about the team. Let's talk about what it was like to be on the team in the very beginning. So the team was new to you because this was your start, right? In playing basketball. Yes. So just kind of tell us about what it was like being a young teen, preteen, learning how to play basketball, learning the fundamentals, and being coachable at the same time?
Well, okay, so I'll backtrack. It wasn't really my start. I started out playing when I was like 6 or 7 years old, just little rec lead up the street at the local gym for the local Waxaw Association. So it wasn't really the start to my basketball career, but it was a different path in my basketball career because we did travel basketball. So instead of just playing the same girls in the area over and over again, they introduced us to different cities and different girls and all over up and down the East Coast. So it was definitely different. It was challenging at times because you would run into girls who you've never played before. So you don't know their weaknesses to be able to use that against them in the games. So it was challenging, but it was so much fun. Being able to go to these different cities with the same team, like you form a sisterhood, a friendship, a true friendship. Like these are the girls you play with, you talk to, you hang out with on the weekends. It was more than just, oh, that's my teammate. It became a bond to where, oh, that's my sister.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Now, one of the things that Kaci said, they developed a team so they could play other teams outside of the state and in different places. The reason they did that was because they were beating everybody locally and they were beating them bad. So the coaches was like, okay, let's give them some competition. Now, the other thing that was said back then, it was like they was beating people so bad, they really thought they were like all of that. And guess what, y'all? They were all of that. They were all of that and a bag of chips. So the coaches are like, we need to get them some competition. We need to give them some competition because here again, with competition, they're getting even better. So they had already reached the top at where they were and just beating people to death. So now by them playing people outside of the state and outside of in different tournaments, they were honing their skills. They were getting better and they were still beating people, you all. They were still beating people. So Kaci, tell us how that was possible. I mean, all of you had raw talent. So that may be even a hard question for you because y'all was just naturally good. But just try to tell us how, as a team, you all were so powerful.
I think it all came down to us knowing each other and our strengths on the court. It got to a point where we would have our basketball plays, but we could freelance because we knew where our teammates were going to be. We knew that Khadija was a strong ball handler and she could get to the rim. So all we had to do was just open up the lane for her. If she got to the goal, she knew that either myself, Lillian, or Maggie, we were somewhere on the 3-point lines for her to dish it to us to be able to shoot. So we all were able to learn each other, and we played together for so long that we knew where each other were going to be on the court. If one of us were to get a rebound, we would just look up the court and Maggie would be running up the court. So we knew to just automatically throw it down court to get that fast break layup. We just learned each other.
Mm-hmm. That is so powerful. And that's what you call a team. That's what you call playing as a team. And like Kaci said in the beginning, it was more than a team, it was a sisterhood. So if you're in a situation where you want to excel personally, it's important to excel as a team. So that is so beautiful. And I know the first time I saw you all play is when I got hooked. You know, it's like they were so little. They were like little people, but they were playing like these big giants. They would hustle, they was grit. And you all, Kaci had attitude. Even at that young age, she had such an attitude. But what that's equated to now, she had mental toughness at that age. And I'm pretty sure she didn't know it, but it just looked like she just had attitude. But she could actually almost outthink a person. You remember when we were at Coach Joe, your daddy, my brother, when we was at his house, and Jade and Kayla, they were out there playing, and then you got out. You remember?
Yeah, I do. I remember they try to get me out there, and I have to like, whew, they're so much younger. I have to build up that energy to go against them. But that's where the mental part comes in, the IQ of basketball. Watching them play. Kayla's my sister, Jade's my cousin, so they've been playing forever. Mm-hmm. So just watching them play, I know what they can do, what they like to do, and in the game, even though it's your first time playing an opponent, you have to look at that. You have to figure out their patterns. do they like to go right? Do they like to go left? Are they trying to shoot or are they trying to get to the basket? So basketball, it's about skill, but it's about the IQ of it as well. It's about the mental aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. That is so awesome. Now, Kayla and Jay, they were currently playing. So they were at the top of their game. They was like super good. And Kaci, you hadn't played in how long when we were out there?
Years.
Yeah, years.
It had been like 5 years.
Yeah. And she hung with them. And the beauty of it, she just kind of, she would think them out of their game. And she would kind of psych them out of the game because she had her IQ in basketball don't leave. I mean, that's something that stayed with you. So once you develop that basketball IQ, you have that forever. So although she had not played for years, she would actually intimidate those young, beautiful, talented girls. And I think she, for the most part, I think you won or they gave up or something like that.
I think we just all got tired.
So that's important. Develop your basketball IQ because most of the time, or some of the time, it's not all about how many points you can make or how many points you can block. It's about all of those other mental skills that you have in the game that's going to get you over. And sometimes when the game is close, that's the only thing that's going to separate you. But in this case, the game was you have these current seasoned young girls going up against a more mature player that's not playing anymore, but she still had a mental game that didn't leave her. So that is just super awesome. Now, one of the things that you all know I'm real passionate about when I work with basketball players or any athlete really is building their confidence and helping them get this laser-like focus. I'm so passionate about that. I have written 2 books, and one of them is Build Your Confidence, and the other one is Focus Like a Champion. So in addition to my book, another thing that I want to do on my Tuesday tips is to share more information from you with actual people who have actually done these things. And that way, if you have the book, now you have even more information from live people that you can get in contact with to ask them questions about their experience. So Kaci, how did you build your confidence or how did you maintain your confidence when you were playing?
So while playing, building my confidence was something that I really struggled with because starting out, I would find myself comparing myself to my teammates. And that's something that I had to learn not to do. You can't make comparisons because not every 2 players the same. So I just had to take a step back and focus on myself and focus on the things that I can do to make the game better. I knew that starting out, point guard wasn't my true position, what I wanted to do. But with me being on the shorter end, I really had no choice but to bring the ball up. And all my coaches would tell me, you're so good at it because you look up the court. You don't focus on dribbling or trying to do all the fancy skills. You look up the court and you get the ball flowing. So it's something that I had to mentally take on as a challenge. I had to just focus on what I could do. I knew my defense game was strong, so I had to take a step back and realize those strengths that I can bring to the game.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And you heard what she said. She had to take a step back and realize her strengths and then play that. And the thing that is super important, she had to stop comparing herself to other people. That is so important because when you do that, it does cause your confidence to go down because they may be strong in an area that you're just naturally not strong in. So if you're comparing yourself, you're constantly having this negative chatter in your head. You're beating yourself up because you can't do what they're doing like they're doing it. So so just kind of step back, find out what you're good at, and just keep sharpening those skills. That is awesome. That's great information to share with our viewers. And then the other thing that's so important is just to have a laser-like focus, because when you're confident and then you can focus like a champion, it's just no ending. And that's just exactly what happened with this team. As they kind of learned each other, played together for so long, they got confident in their own skills and their skills as a team. They were focusing like WNBA players. So tell us how you did that, Kaci.
So it goes back to mental for me. I don't think a lot of players understand, a lot of young players and even some high school and college players, I don't think they understand how much of basketball is all about your mental. You have to be mentally ready before you step foot on any court, no matter what you have going on in your life, no matter if you and your teammates are arguing, all that goes out of the window when you step on the court in order to have that focused game. To be able to succeed and win that game, you have to stay focused. You can't, if you make a mistake in a game, you have to push that to the back of your head. That play is over and done with. You have to push to the back of your head so you can move forward with the next play and throughout the rest of the game. Yeah, that's just basically how I did it. A lot of mistakes we get caught up with, and it's like, oh man, I could have did this better. My shots aren't falling this game. I can't get any rebounds this game. You can't worry about that. You have to let it go and move forward.
Exactly. Let it go and move forward. That's so true. Because if you're dwelling on what you just did that wasn't good, the game is going on. And so while you're dwelling on this mistake you made, now you're missing out on the next opportunity. So you just continue to make mistakes and mistakes. And what happened with some people, when they dwell on that mistake they made, they miss out on the next opportunity. They make a mistake there, then they make another mistake, then they get frustrated, they're making mistakes, and their game start just going down. So Kaci, you're absolutely right. And I'm glad you're a living example to share this with our audience, that these things are real and they're true and they work if you work it. So before we kind of get into our Tuesday tip for our Coach Joe Free-Throw-A-Thon event that's in September, tell us something interesting about Xtreme, something that something that we probably shouldn't know, but it's just you and I, you know.
It's so many stories, so many memories you develop. It was so much fun. You mentioned earlier that the reason Xtreme started, and that Coach Joe and Coach Ron started this, is because we were just beating everyone around here and they wanted to challenge us and challenge our skills. And so they took us up and down the East Coast to different states. And like you said, we were continuing to win, except for this one time in Florida. We went to Florida for nationals, and it was something that we've never experienced before. And I will say we went down there a little cocky, only because, you know, we've been winning. So we knew it was something that we could easily do. Yeah, we got knocked out the first two games. The first two games we lost. They weren't even close games at all. So it definitely humbled us a lot. We just knew that the trip was going to end because we were supposed to stay in Florida for a week. That's how long the tournament lasted. And the second day we were done. So we were all kind of disappointed in ourselves, but Coach Joe and Coach Ron, being as awesome as they are, they rallied up the girls, got on the phone with parents, because not all of the parents were able to make it. So they got us a big house and we all just stayed in the house together. They called parents and they got us tickets to go to some of the parks down there since we were already in Florida. So it was a fun experience, but like I said, it humbled us a lot.
Yeah. And the parts you left out, they were playing up.
Oh yeah, we were playing up.
They were playing up. They were not playing their age group. They were
throughout our entire time in Xtreme, we played up. And that's a lot of things that it's a thing that some people don't realize, that we played up. We never played our age group because it was too easy for us. So they had us playing up and challenging ourselves. And so we were in 8th grade playing against high schoolers who played on varsity. So it was a learning experience.
It was good. And I just wish we had videotapes where you all were playing that we could post. So I'm not sure we were videotaping back then, but I
actually have a DVD.
Oh my goodness.
I have a DVD of us playing. We were in Myrtle Beach, playing the championship, and the girls we were playing against, I remember they were like these tall girls, like their shortest player was the height of our tallest player. And so we just went into the gym intimidated and looking at them like, oh my gosh, we're going to lose this game because look at how big they are. But once we got on the court and we started playing our game, the game we know how to play, we took control of the game and we blew them out by like 30 points in the championship game. So that was fun.
Yep. Teamwork, and mental toughness. That'll get you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter about the other team, how tall they are, how many games they won. If you go out there and play your game, that's key. Don't get caught up into what they're doing and then having them force you out of your game. You play your game and you play as a team and you come out on top. Yeah, you all was just something to watch, because before I saw you play or saw the team play for the first time, you all had played a few games, and I knew, because I was keeping up with you through Coach Joe, and I knew you all would win. And then eventually I was going to go see you play, that sort of thing. Well, when I went to that first game, it was at the beach. You all were just so good, and I didn't miss the game after that, because I was just like, mind blown. Here again, these little people playing like giants. So it was just awesome. And I think that's why I'm so excited to partner with Xtreme, and then to bring the next generation of Xtreme on board. And this is going to be something beautiful, because the two original people, they have come back to coach the next generation. I mean, how beautiful is that? That is just so good. And I'm not sure if you saw the last videotape, but D. Coffey Foundation for Athletics and Education. We started out separate, and I'm writing my business plan, putting everything in the business plan that I think that will move the youth forward. And one of the things that I had in there was, as we help people become the best that they can be and have a good game, have mental toughness, build their confidence, and they go off to college or go get a job and they become successful, they come back and pay it forward. That was kind of an idea I had in my head. And before I could communicate that to anybody, Coach Joe was doing it. I mean, he had Kaci and Lillian coaching the next team. And I'm like, oh my God, this is genius. What I had on paper, you know how it is, you put things on paper and it may come alive, it may not come alive, but it actually came alive. So I'm like, this is beautiful. So that's why I wanted to start this event off by having the first two come on board and share with you. Now, one thing that I would love to do, Kaci, is to get the original 8 on a call. Yeah, if we could do a live with the original 8, that would be wonderful. Okay. So if any, no, first, let's call their names, because I'm getting ready to talk directly to the original 8. So you say their names so they know that we're talking to them.
Okay. Khadijah Hood, Maggie Smith, Courtney Hawks, Jada Huntley, Jasmine Huntley, and Ray Moore.
All right. I'm talking to all of you all. Email me, email Kaci, email Lillian, and we're going to do a Facebook Live. We're going to do it the last Tuesday, right before our event ends. Before our event starts. And if I'm not mistaken, that would be September 13th, but we will confirm the date. So I am inviting you all to join me on a Facebook Live, the original 8. So Lillian, I know you're watching. So this is the project. This is our project. Me, you, and Kaci. We're going to get the original 8 on Facebook Live, and we're just going to have a good time. I don't know what we're going to talk about or what may happen, but I just know when you all were together, it was always funny. So we're just going to have a good time. So please reach out to one of us, and let's plan to do that. So Kaci, thank you so much for coming on board. But before we end, give them some tips on how they can be successful in the Coach Joe Free-Throw-A-Thon that we're having in September.
So for the free-throw-a-thon, I would definitely suggest practicing before recording yourself, because the saying practice makes perfect, that's not false. Continue to practice, continue to focus on your fundamentals. Don't worry about how many you're making while you're practicing. Just for right now, focus on those fundamentals and the rest will follow. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And if you all have any questions for Kaci, feel free to email me and I'll make sure that she gets it. She's a new mom, so I don't want to bombard her with anything new. So email me and then I'll make sure that she gets it, and then we'll make sure that you get your answers. And I look forward to seeing all of you participating in the Coach Joe Free-Throw-A-Thon that starts September 9th and go through the 17th. All right. Once again, thank you, dear. And we will talk soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.